If your cat follows you everywhere, this is what it means. Your cat watched you use the bathroom this morning, and the day before, and probably every single day this week. And you've been telling yourself it's cute or whatever, but here's the thing nobody tells you. That behavior means something specific. And once you know what it actually is, you're going to look at your cat completely differently. So let's talk about it. Okay, so cats have this reputation, right? Everyone says cats are independent. Oh, cats don't care about you. Cats only want food. I grew up hearing that. You probably did too. And honestly, that's one of the biggest lies the internet has ever told about animals. Because here's what's actually happening when your cat follows you from room to room, sits outside the bathroom door, and parks itself on your lap the second you sit down. Your cat has chosen you, specifically, out of every possible option in their little world. They looked at you and said, "This is my person." But why? Like, what's actually going on inside that fuzzy little head? That's what we're going to break down today. And I promise, by the end of this, you're going to understand your cat in a way most cat owners never do. Let's start with the problem, or what most people think is a problem. You sit on the couch, cat appears. You go to the kitchen, cat follows. You go to bed, cat's already there somehow. You close the bathroom door, cat cries outside like you just abandoned them forever. Most people's reaction to this is one of two things. Either they think it's adorable and take 12 videos a day, or they start getting a little worried. Is something wrong? Is my cat too attached? Is this normal? And then the third group, honestly the most common, just assumes their cat is being weird and doesn't think about it at all. But here's what's actually happening, and it's way more interesting than you'd expect. Cats are not wired the way dogs are. Dogs evolved over thousands of years to be around humans constantly. They're pack animals. Being with people is literally built into their biology. Cats? Different story. Wild cats are mostly solitary hunters. They don't need a group to survive. They hunt alone, they live alone, they're fine alone. That's their natural state. So when a domestic cat, who still has all that same biology running in the background, decides to follow you everywhere anyway, that's actually a huge deal. That's not instinct, that's a choice. Think about that for a second. Your cat doesn't need to follow you. They're choosing to. Now let's get into the actual reasons, because there are a few different things going on depending on your cat. The first one is security. Cats are both predators and prey animals. I know that sounds contradictory, but it's true. Out in the wild, a cat hunts small animals, but they're also small enough that bigger animals hunt them. So cats are always paying attention to their environment, always scanning for threats. When your cat follows you around, part of what's happening is that you are their safe anchor. You're the thing in their world that signals everything is okay. Your presence literally calms their nervous system. There's actual science behind this. Researchers have studied how cats respond to their owners versus strangers, and the results are really interesting. Cats who are bonded to their owners show measurably lower stress signals, things like slower heart rate, less defensive body language, when their owner is nearby versus when they're with someone they don't know. So when your cat follows you to the bathroom and you close the door and they cry, they're not being dramatic for fun. They genuinely find your absence stressful. You closing that door is a small but real stressor for them. You're their safe place, and suddenly the safe place is behind a door they can't open, which, yes, is also kind of adorable, but still, real thing happening there. The second reason is curiosity, and this one is huge. Cats are incredibly curious animals, like obsessively so. You've seen the videos. Cat sees a bag, must investigate. Cat hears a weird noise, must investigate. You get up from the couch after sitting there for 2 hours. Cat has to find out what's happening now. When you move around the house, from your cat's perspective, something is happening. There's activity. There might be interesting things. There's a reason you got up, and they want to know what it is. This is especially true in the kitchen, by the way. Cats who follow their owners into the kitchen are not just hoping for food, although, let's be honest, they're also hoping for food, but they're genuinely curious about what you're doing.
The smells, the sounds, the movement, it's stimulating for them. If your cat follows you everywhere but gets especially intense about the kitchen, combine curiosity and food motivation, and you've got a very determined little shadow. The third reason is your cat actually likes you, like genuinely. I know this sounds obvious, but let me explain why it's worth saying. For a long time, the scientific view of cats was basically they tolerate humans but don't really form attachments. That view has changed dramatically in the last couple of decades. In 2019, a team of researchers at Oregon State University did a study with cats and their owners based on the same attachment research that's been done with dogs and with human babies. They wanted to see if cats form what's called a secure attachment to their owners, the same kind of emotional bond. What they found was that about 65% of cats tested showed a clear, secure attachment to their owners. When separated, they showed stress signs. When reunited, they calmed down and went back to exploring. The owner was a secure base for them, exactly the same pattern you see in bonded children with their parents. The cats who didn't show this pattern, they were either showing anxious attachment signs or were in the group that had less socialization and bonding history with humans. So the science is actually saying cats love you. Not in the exact way a dog does, the expression is different, but the underlying emotional bond is real and measurable. Your cat following you around? That's love. Inconvenient, bathroom-invading love, but love. The fourth reason is communication. Cats can't talk. Okay, obviously, but they're trying to tell you things constantly. Following is one of the main ways they do it. Have you noticed that sometimes your cat follows you and then sits there staring at you, not meowing, not doing anything, just looking at you? That's usually them waiting for you to figure out what they want. The food bowl is empty. They want to play. Something is off and they don't feel good. They want to go outside. Cats who were properly socialized around humans learn pretty early that humans are responsive to being followed. You get up and walk to the kitchen, and sometimes the human follows you and gives you food. That's a successful communication. So they do it again, and eventually it becomes a reliable tool for getting what they need. This is also why some cats are more vocal than others about following you. The meowing while following, that's them escalating the communication. I followed you and you didn't respond. Now I am making noise. Are you getting it yet? Fifth reason, and this one surprises people, temperature. Cats love warmth. Their body temperature runs higher than ours, and they're constantly seeking out warm spots. And guess what? You are a walking, breathing 98.6-degree heat source. When your cat follows you to the couch and immediately parks itself on your lap or pressed against your leg, part of that is warmth seeking. You're the best heated surface in the house. You're also soft, and you sometimes pet them, which is a bonus. This is especially true in winter or in colder houses. Pay attention to whether your cat follows you more in cold months versus warm months. A lot of owners notice exactly this pattern without ever connecting it to temperature. Sixth reason, and this one matters a lot, your cat might be bored. Domestic cats have a weird life. Their wild cousins spend hours every day hunting. They're running, jumping, stalking, pouncing. Their brains are active. Their bodies are active. They have problems to solve and things to catch. Indoor house cats, they eat from a bowl, they sleep, they watch birds through the window, and then they sleep again. A lot of cats are severely understimulated, and following their owner is one of the few interesting things in their environment. If your cat is your shadow constantly, like aggressively following you, meowing constantly, getting into everything, this is worth paying attention to because it often means your cat needs more enrichment, more playtime, puzzle feeders, window purchase, things that give their brain something to do. A cat who follows you because they're bored will often stop being quite so intense about it once they have more stimulation in their environment, not because they love you less, but because they have other things to do too. Now let's talk about when it's something more. Most of the time, a cat following you around is normal and even sweet, but there are cases where it tips into something that's worth paying attention to. If your cat suddenly starts following you way more than they used to, like a noticeable change in behavior, that can sometimes be a sign that something's off health-wise. Cats who are not feeling well sometimes become more clingy and attached. It's like they're seeking comfort. If the following is combined with other changes, less appetite, hiding, acting lethargic, weird litter box behavior, or excessive vocalization, that's when you take it to the vet. Not panic, but mention it. Also worth noting, some cats develop what's called separation anxiety. It's more common than people think, and it shows up as a cat who can't be alone without showing stress, constant following, crying when you leave, destructive behavior when you're not home. This is different from just being a friendly, attached cat. If you think this is your cat, a vet who specializes in animal behavior can actually help with this. It's treatable. Here's the wild thing about all of this. Cats haven't changed that much from their wild ancestors. Genetically, a domestic cat is nearly identical to a wild cat.
Choosing to headbutt you in the face at 3 a.m. when functionally they could be off doing absolutely anything else, that choice, made by an animal that genuinely doesn't need you the way a dog does, is kind of remarkable when you think about it. The cat who follows you everywhere has decided, independently, that being near you is worth it, that you specifically are interesting enough and safe enough and warm enough and worth the effort of patting after all day. So what do you do with all this information? First, let them follow you. I know that sounds obvious, but some people try to train cats not to do this because they find it annoying or they've heard it creates too much dependency. For most cats, this is completely natural bonded behavior. Don't punish your cat for wanting to be near you. Second, pay attention to the pattern. Your cat is trying to communicate. Start noticing when they follow you and what usually happens next. You'll start to decode what they're trying to tell you. Empty bowl, wants to play, just checking in. The pattern will become clear. Third, make sure they have enough enrichment. A bored cat is an overly clingy cat. More playtime, especially interactive play with you, will actually make your cat more confident and less desperate for your attention, which sounds counterintuitive but is completely true. Fourth, don't close them out unless you have to. I know, the bathroom thing. But if your cat is stressed by that closed door, even cracking it open a little while you shower or whatever can make a real difference to their stress levels. You don't have to give up all privacy, but being aware that the closed door is genuinely hard for them might change how often you do it. And fifth, enjoy it. Seriously, you've got an animal from a species that evolved to be completely self-sufficient, who looked at you and decided you were their person. That's not nothing. Next time your cat follows you into the kitchen and sits there staring at you like they're waiting for a press conference, just remember, that's not weirdness, that's trust, that's attachment. That's a small predator who could theoretically survive without you, choosing not to. That's actually kind of beautiful, even at 6 a.m. when you can barely see straight and they're walking across your face. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you already know there's a whole lot more to your cat than most people realize. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.